Hello folks, welcome to Gabe Gaming. Want to know how the Super Branded movie was made? Well, look no further. For today, I'll be showing you how to animate on the program that I use, Scratch, which is a kids coding website for ages 8 to 16. To start with your animation, if you want to save your progress, now I'm just gonna tell you this right now. If you want to save your progress, do what I am right now and sign in. Sign in is very simple. All you have to do is that, so when you're signed out, so for example, like I am signed out right now, if you are signed out, it will say join Scratch. You click on join Scratch. There's going to be a couple of questions, and if you answer those questions, you'll get your email. It might ask you to confirm. So yeah, so here I am in the Scratch home page, if you are signed in, like me. Sorry about that. So the reason why it is important to be signed in is because if you are not signed in, then your progress is not going to be saved unless you prefer to save to your computer as a download. So to start making your animation, click create, and thus a new project is going to appear. So if you're someone who is signed in, you are allowed to name the file to whatever you want. For now, for this video, we're just gonna name it tutorial. But Gabe, what do we do with the cat? Are we gonna delete it? No. For now, no. So as you can see here, Scratch itself, when you create a new project, it has a default sprite. This is the mascot, Scratch Cat. And if you look to the left, you're gonna see this column. Now this, you're gonna see options right here. So this is all the code. This is where you're gonna program all your frames to make it look like it's moving, which is animation. Costumes is where your frames will be. Sounds is just gonna be sounds. So to start, we are just gonna do a basic animation for a little Scratch Cat here. So as you can all see, I got the when green flag clicked block, which is technically the first event block you need to use, because without that block, your project will not run at all. What essentially this block essentially does is that, so any block after this block will do its thing after you click the green flag. Like, for example, move 10 steps. If you click the green flag, it moved 10 steps, as you guys saw there. I don't know if you guys saw that. Whoops. See, it just moved to it just moved 10 steps. So if you're a math guy, you might know what this is. So this is where all your sprites will be. During the Super Branded movie, this is where I kept all my scenes, as each sprite was a scene. So for each sprite, it will show its stats right here. So it would say the name of the sprite, if it's shown or hide, and also what it is along the x-axis and the y-axis, its size, and the direction. So size one. So technically, what size is? It's the percentage. It's how big. It's kind of like the percentage of what is. So I don't know if you guys could see here. There you go. So as you can see here, right here it says the costume 1. This costume is 96 times 101 pixels in total. And 100 is technically the size number right here. The size number, what it technically means is that, so the size number is technically the percentage of this image, like if it is that size, like it's the percentage. So it is 100. So on this screen of the Scratch Cat, this is costume 1 in its size, in its original size. Don't believe me? Click the equal sign and it will zoom you out to what it kind of looks like on your screen, right here. So let's get to that. Let's make that animation. So what I do is that, so I always do show and then switch to costume 1 and then switch to backdrop 1. This is if you have multiple scenes for an animation, you always need to switch to costume 1. That way, if you mess up, that way, if you screw something, you could start your animation code from there. So with this current thing right here, so for Scratch, we're just going to do a little default animation. Now on Scratch, there's always recommended FPS, or frames per second, which is how many frames that are displayed every second. So for stop motions like Coraline, it's like 24 or 30 FPS. The maximum for Stop Motion Studio Pro is 30 FPS as well. Scratch runs at 30 ticks per second rate, which means that so if I were to do 30 on here, that means this, and this was 0.01. It won't do it. It won't be 100 frames per second as expected. It will be 30 frames per second because of how Scratch is built on. So as we could see here, so this is gonna be like this is the typical beginner animation for people who start on Scratch. So here's what I'm gonna do. So to explain the code, when the green flag is clicked, the sprite will be shown. The backdrop will be set to the first backdrop, which is what we have according to this. And it'll switch to costume 1, which is this one. And then it would go to the next costume, wait 0.1 seconds, and move 10 steps, and it'll repeat that process 9 more times. And after it's done with all those 9 times, it would meow. You ready? 3, 2. I don't know what happens when you full screen it. When I first screen it, okay. There we go. That's more like it. Thank you, Scratch Cat. So yeah, so that is a like more typical animation to me. So yeah, so you might be like, Gabe, how did you do this on the Super Brownie movie, because there's no way that is what it is. So technically, you're actually right. Yeah. So the move 10 step block had nothing to do with it. It would look something like this. And also that was and also it won't be 0.1, it will be 0.01. So yeah, so it was kind of complex. So I'm not good with walking cycles, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna do it. Unless if I'm bored. So, take it back. So what you can do is that. So, if you want to make like a story, if you want to make like here, let's have Scratch Cat. Let's move him over here for costume 1. And then what we could do, so what I did is that, so copy, paint. So this will be the Scratch Cat character. So this will be Scratch Cat. This will be the Scratch Cat costume, as you can see there. And this, I essentially made this so that if we want to reuse assets, this is how we're going to do it. I also want to use another somebody else. Let's take Abby, for example. There we go. So this is Abby, one of the people that's in the default sprites for Scratch, for one of the costume libraries. This is one of the sprites for one of the costumes that Scratch has to offer. So for the first costume, we're just going to have Scratch Cat right here. And we're going to duplicate it. Now duplicating, you just right click and there's going to be something like this, and you hit duplicate. And then what we'll do is that, so you'll hold left click right here and then drag, and then this giant rectangle is going to appear, and then it selects everything that was within that rectangle. So now what I could do is that I could move Scratch Cat, and then what I could also do is I could get Abby. We're gonna get Abby to say hi to Scratch Cat. If you want dialogue in your films, now, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but how I did it in Super Brownie Movie 2, not 1, but 2. What I did is that, so I do the animation, and I copy and I duplicate the last frame of that animation, and I'll do the lip sync on this animation, and then on the code, it'll be programmed to do that. So hi Abby. Always make sure your animation looks smooth as possible. So that way, whoops, I forgot to show you guys what's going on. So always make sure your animation is kind of smooth. That way it's going to be like more enjoyable, I guess. Now, certain frames per second is kind of... So the pro animators of Scratch, they tend to they have certain FPS levels. I guess I could say that for like um for like a really good animation. Which, trust me, I have seen those in my past. Now, if you say that some of the animation in Super Mario Movie 1 was kind of not smooth, that is okay. I am still working, technically. Um, so once you're done with your animation on Scratch, so Scratch has this new thing that sets a thumbnail, and also, so once you're done, you could share it to the public if you're comfortable with it. You can keep it unshared. Um, you can keep it unshared if you want to, which is fine. I am gonna, before I log out, I'm just gonna show you an animation from someone. Let me find it. If students are inventors. I'm just gonna show you this so that I could show you what animators nowadays what their animations look like. So this is F Students Are Inventors by Incognito Orange. And Incognito Orange, if you don't know who he is, he's kind of one of the pro animators on Scratch, which is kind of cool. And so yeah, here is this animation. Sorry, I forgot the audio.
The only thing you've invented is new letter grades. You currently have a Z minus. See you in summer school. Wait, what month is it? Happy birthday, gay people.
What? Whoops, I opened something. I was not supposed to open Outlook. So yeah, so that is my sort of presentation on how to animate, kind of like how I did with Super Mario Movie 1. Coming soon, Super Mario Movie 2. The animation on that is going great, by the way. Just on Sunday, I finished scene 15 out of 18. And soon, one of my friends who was voice acting is gonna come to my house and do some lines for me. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!